This week on The Grind, we're on the Great Salt Lake chasing big water teal with Backwater Performance Systems, Glade Harris, and Chuck Harson.
I yearn for a place to call my own. I'm going home. Say what you will, I'll be better for it still. I've been wondering what you're doing with your time, just to get you off my mind. I'm in the grind.
The Grind Waterfowl TV is brought to you by DAKOTA Decoy, premium gunning decoys for demanding hunters. Lucky Duck, masters of deception. Rio, official ammunition of The Grind. Share the experience. Mud Buddy, the king of mud motors. Excel, the boat to own. Cornerstone Gun Dog Academy, the world's most accessible online retriever training program. High Mountain Seasonings, handcrafted jerky, seasonings, and meat processing tools. Lifetime Decoys, premium decoy rigging equipment. Sitka Gear, turning clothing into gear. Alps Outdoors, exceed your expectations. And these fine sponsors. This segment is brought to you by Mud Buddy and Excel Boats.
We arrived in Salt Lake City Thursday and we immediately came to the Mud Buddy facility, and it's pretty impressive. Clean, the people are very conscientious, the employees, they stayed late for us. We got into town a little later than we thought we would.
Came right over here to Mud Buddy. It was greeted by everybody here. Got to meet a lot of great folks and take a walk around the shop and actually see what they have going on here and everything that goes into it, from the engineers and making the drawings to future projects that they have coming up. I mean, it's state of the art, and understanding what type of work goes on in these motors, you know, helped me learn more about why they're so successful at what they do and why they have such a history in being the top mud motor company. But it's just phenomenal to see the facility, to see how they build these things and really what goes into it, and to meet all the people that make it happen.
So after we arrived, toured the facilities, now we have to decide where we're going to hunt the next day. Logan from Mud Buddy had been scouting hard, found us a really good pot of birds, and Glade Harris from Backwater Performance had also been out scouting. So it was kind of a toss-up. We could go hunt puddle ducks on Logan's spot, or we could go out on the Great Salt Lake, which really intrigued us. So the first day we decided to go with Glade, and we hopped in his airboat, and we had an incredible ride across ice, mud, grass. I immediately looked at Sean and said, I need one of these boats. They'll hate me at Springfield, but I'm going to have one of these things. But we went out and we hunted the Great Salt Lake.
Well, we got the crew. We are on the Great Salt Lake. We're with Glade Harris with Backwater Performance, and we are fixing to chase some teal, I think. Glade's trying to find us some water right now. We got in here yesterday. It's gotten cold here, and Glade told us that the ice is pushed out a lot further on the lake than it had been. So right now what we're doing is looking for some shallow water.
What are you looking for?
Big rafts of ducks. They'll be sitting out here on this ice line.
Well, we are on the Great Salt Lake, and we just experienced a pretty cool ride for us. South Dakota boys, we came across the salt flats on frozen ice, open water. Pretty cool. Right now we're putting out some silhouettes. We're gonna have coffin blinds out here basically laying in the silhouettes. Been a lot of teal. I think they have a lot of shovelers. So a new experience for us South Dakota boys. We're pretty anxious to see what happens here. Get set up, shoot some saltwater teal.
This segment is brought to you by Rio Ammunition.
So we're gonna put our coffin blinds all the way along this ice edge here, and we'll fill in this whole bay full of these black silhouettes. And then on the outside of the silhouettes, we'll put a bunch of duck floaters. We should have big flights of teal coming in here pretty quick. Should be pretty fun.
If you've never seen the Great Salt Lake, it's not like I was envisioning. It was like Sean said, it's like being on the moon. I mean, it's just this big flat. Most of the water we were in was probably not much deeper than a foot, maybe 2 foot. It's like a big tidal flat, actually. And laid down, and we hadn't been down in those coffins for maybe 5 minutes, and here come the teal. And it was something to see. Nice drake too. First kill. Nice drake, green wing. Doubled on that one, dude. We smoked that second one together.
This is fun. This is teal coming in here. Got about 400, 500 silhouettes out, laying in these coffins. Just something I've never done before. Got to wear this black just so you blend in a little bit. But got 3 dogs out here running around and laying these teal out. This is a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Different environment. Some coming in right now. We got dogs out there working, but it's a lot of fun.
Here, buddy. Good boy. Good dog.
I'll tell you what, boys, it's a lot of fun.
Max. There's another one down. Yeah.
Early on, it became apparent this wasn't like hunting mallards in a field. There was no way to gauge distance, no dry layout blind to shoot from, and of course, the acrobatic green wings made for some very challenging gunning.
But
oh no, this is you. I mean, a great teal shoot all day long, man. It's awesome. Little buggers eat nice too.
oh yeah.
As you're standing out there looking, you can see these rafts of birds out there. And all you see is a little bit of water and black. You just see this big mass of black. So what they do with these silhouettes, they're just black corrugated plastic, and they just create a duck shape and make a big black mass. So the birds coming across the lake, they see another mass of birds, and they just naturally are attracted to it. It was a cool concept. I always say dark things kill birds, and this was a true testament to it. Yep.
Hey guys, I'm Barton Ramsey with Cornerstone Gun Dog Academy, and this is a retriever training quick tip. I want to talk today about denials, or denying your dog a retrieve. This is an important part of dog training even from a very early stage. The philosophy behind this is the dog needs to understand not everything that falls through the air and hits the ground is his to pick up. And so when you start this early on, you wind up with a dog who's going to be easier to steady when you begin to work on steadiness. And so we do this on lead, obviously at first. Someone throws something out, someone else goes and picks it up, or you go pick it up while the dog is at heel. It's a good thing to improve on when you're working on place training and the dog is steady and you can walk away from the dog while they're on a place board, throw a dummy behind you, tell the dog to sit, walk back, pick it up yourself. You don't want to do this with every retrieve. Once the dog sits still for a few denials, then you want to go ahead and reward them by sending them on a retrieve. Otherwise, they're going to become disinterested in you throwing stuff around and picking it up yourself. But you want to make sure with a young pup especially that you're not just sitting there constantly throwing a tennis ball or constantly throwing a dummy and sending the dog over and over and over again, or you're going to run into a lot of problems when you try to steady that dog later on down the road.
This segment is brought to you by Lucky Duck Premium Decoys.
One of the things what fascinated me the most was your lack of depth of field. This massive body of water out there and these tiny little birds coming across it. There were times you'd go to sit up, wait, nope, they're 100 yards. You just didn't have any depth of field, so it was really cool, and it turned into a whale of a little teal shoot.
One of the things that I was in shock and awe the most about is the vast majority of water out here. And you know, while everything seems close, you know, I'm a Midwest guy, so you know, I'm hunting in cornfields or small rivers, lakes, streams, that type of thing. You get out here and it is a totally different beast. You know, getting out on the airboats, it's something that I definitely wouldn't just jump into a boat, go out and find somewhere to hunt. I mean, you know, there's things that you got to do your homework on, and these guys know these areas. And I think that's the great thing about waterfowlers is that, you know, through social media and what we do, whether it's via pro staff or getting to know people on forums or getting to know people through other people, that's the great thing about this community is that we can go to different areas to hunt, rely on some other folks, the locals, go out to great public areas like we did. And you know, you go out and you're sitting here and you're just thinking, like, how do these guys even find this kind of stuff? They have the right tools, the right equipment, and it's just something that, again, I'm in complete awe of how they did it, and I'm glad I got to experience it. But at the same time, you know, it's not something that would be familiar to me if I were to just jump right into it.
Right in front.
Two on the bottom.
Get him, Ricky.
Roll it.
Take him, because you get on that stand at the bird.
Back. This is awesome. But it was just awesome watching these three dogs work together. These teal would come in and he would drop 3, 4, 5 a bunch. And it was happening so fast that the three dogs working in unison really helped. I mean, they had those teal picked up back on their purchase. No sooner get set back up and here come the next bunch of teal. So it was very beneficial having three dogs. Max was in the Great Salt Lake, so that he can add that to his resume, but did a spectacular job. Oh, I see it, yep. Here.
No, he's good.
Here.
He's on one.
Hey. Max.
A lot of the time, your best hunts are nothing more than chaos. There were dogs running every which way, camera guys freaking out about saltwater, and teal bombing into the decoys no matter how much movement and craziness was going on. It felt like we had no control on the hunt, but we loved every minute of it.
Oh yeah.
That one got it. That one go down. This one right here by that decoy. Hey, whoa!
There, you got it. Oh, this is really cool. We're laying out here in saltwater, killing green-winged teal, and they're just coming low. It's funny, like your depth perception is really bad. Maxie just bringing one in.
How did you do over here, Rick? Did you whip? Yeah, I got one, and that's the one. I thought you were being pretty quiet.
This segment is brought to you by DAKOTA Decoy.
Mac.
In this giant lake, we were almost 10 miles from the access, but we were still only in 6 inches of water, and a large portion of the lake is that shallow. Yet one thing that seems to be common across all flyways and all species of duck is the desire to move from a roost to a feed. So even though these teal could go anywhere and there's food everywhere, they had a pattern of flying from their morning roost to this area we were hunting. They're a creature of habit, so the strategy was still the same: find where the birds want to feed.
The guy calling it, boom, take him. We got you figured out, Chuck. That's Glade. Oh, that's Glade. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Shoot first. That's how I do it. Hard on the left. Man, what's 2 for 2 there? Yeah.
So we're about finished up. It's been pretty fast and furious. We've only been sitting here for about, I don't know, half an hour, 40 minutes. We've got 24. We've got 4 more to go. This is how we do it when the ice is here and it's calm and sunny. Come out here and lay on our backs in coffins and on the Great Salt Lake and shoot teal.
Kill him! Dusky! How was that, Reggie? Hey, seriously, what did we hunt? 15 minutes? If that?
If that.
And 28 teal down? I mean,
That was fun.
that was unbelievable. Oh gosh, we didn't even, I mean, the amount of birds?
Yeah. Is it always after anything like this out here?
When it's this cold.
Yeah, midday. With my flat tire incident, I was a little concerned. I'm not gonna lie to you.
That we were gonna miss the flight?
Yeah. I mean, they were already flying a little bit when we got started.
It's like as soon as we sat down, it was like, they just turned on. Like, oh, those guys are set up, we'll go over and let them shoot us now.
Yeah, for sure. We could have been here an hour sooner and probably would have been a little bit better.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. How could it be any better?
I mean, look at all the shells.
Most of them are yours.
Yeah, probably. How much you shoot?
I shot a box
See?
and a half.
I'm not so bad. Where are you at? You're
I'm
slacking.
shooting more next time.
What a hunt. We slept in, spent a few hours driving, unloading gear and setting up, all for 20 minutes of constant action in the middle of the day. Yep, our first teal hunt on the Great Salt Lake had us spoiled.
So we came out this morning and there was a few birds sitting here in this hole, so we decided to sit all the way up against the ice and we lay out these coffin blinds. We're only in 4 inches of water here, We knew from scouting last night that the birds were going to come in here before dark. So, well, all 4 of us laid here, and it only took us about 30 minutes to finish up on green-winged teal. It was fun to shoot. It doesn't get much better than this, fast and furious on the Great Salt Lake.
So just like us, you know, these guys know the area very well. We met up with Glade Harris the first day. We got together on Thursday night. Everybody was talking about, you know, Logan had some puddle ducks, and then Glade had some teal over on the Great Salt Lake, and there was some ice out there. There were some concerns as we were getting here in the latter part of the week, colder temps at night. Things were starting to lock up, which, you know, starts to concentrate birds more, which is good, but it makes them harder to find, makes them harder to get to. So we made the choice that before, looking into the forecast, it was going to get colder. We wanted to make sure that we had that slam dunk hunt, and you know, going out and seeing all the teal with Glade was just absolutely amazing. Going out on the airboats, and you know, totally new experience for me. I'm so glad that I had the opportunity to do that. And the teal hunt, sitting amongst, you know, 500-600 silhouettes. I mean, there might even been 700 out there. I'm not even sure, but it took, you know, twice as much time out there to pick up than it did to shoot the actual teal. But laying in those coffins and having those teal, you know, right at our feet, it was just absolutely amazing with the backdrop. And I'm glad I really got to experience the hunt, the ride. I can't thank Chuck and Glade enough for taking me out and doing that. It was absolutely phenomenal.
Next week on The Grind, Dave and Logan from XL Boats and Mud Buddy Motors show us the ropes of Utah puddle duck hunting.